They didn't even change the pose. They didn't even change the pose! Hello everyone, MMC Fan here. As we're getting used to, Bleeding Cool have posted the solicits for the next month of Eaglemoss products, and that of course includes the June releases for the Marvel movie collection. These are issues 131 and 132. They've been really poorly received, and I'm afraid this is going to be a bit of a negative video. I haven't even written a script, I'm just going to do it off the top of my head, but let's get into it. Let's have a look at them and see what we're getting. First up, we have issue 131, Phasing Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is due for release on the 10th of June. But obviously, we're currently operating a month or so behind schedule, so take that with a grain of salt. We might see it a bit later. This is a terrible decision, like a terrible, terrible decision. I can see what they're going for, don't get me wrong. But what they've done is they've gone, we needed a character to do, we're not sure what to do. Let's do Ghost again, because Ghost could phase. And we can do a phasing version of Ghost. And that's really disappointing in itself. But the fact that they've then gone, yeah, and let's do it in the same pose as the first one without changing the model or anything, literally just the material it's made from. And also, this one's going to be $15.99. The original one, which had a full paint job, was $13.99. I appreciate the cost of materials has gone up, but it's just taking the piss. It's ridiculous. Like, if they really had to do Ghost again, they could have done her like partially phasing and like holding the lab maybe. I mean, when the first Ghost came out, I said it might have been a good idea to include a phasing element maybe in one of her arms or something to make the figure look cool, but they've literally gone for the whole thing. I dread the fact that we might get like astral projections of Doctor Strange now, like see-through versions of the previous one, but hopefully this is just a one-time thing. It has been terribly received by the community, so I think they're probably not going to go down this route again. And then we have issue 132, which is Atlas, or Atlas, however you pronounce it, from Captain Marvel, due for release on the 24th of June, but again, it might be a little later. This one is better. It's boring, like, don't get me wrong. People aren't thrilled about all these Captain Marvel characters. Like, this is going to be the 11th one from the Captain Marvel film, and although it's a fine film, it's just not as popular as some of the others, so I think people are getting a bit tired of all these. And much like the Avengers team suits, these Star Force uniforms are all the same, with the exception of the emblem on the chest and the weapons. I appreciate that they're different. Otherwise, they're the same. So, do we really need everyone? It looks like we're getting everyone, so I guess the answer is yes, but I personally would have stopped at Yon-Rogg and Minerva, as they're the most prominent ones. The likeness is fine. It's an alien with blue skin, and that's exactly what they've done. I like the guns, a couple of guns, that's nice. I like that all the weapons have been different in the Star Force members. And this suit, it's as detailed as we've seen it before. I think there's actually a little bit more detail going on, kind of like the upper chest area, and maybe those bands on the legs have got a couple of extra colours and things. So maybe they're learning as they produce those, and hopefully he won't be quite as small as issue 109 and issue, which one was Korath? 119, because they were actually very small characters in this suit. And Yon-Rogg looked a lot better because he was slightly larger. So hopefully they go down the Yon-Rogg route for this one. We've only had 2 new characters in the extension so far. We've had an Outrider, which is still awesome, and we've had this one, which is less awesome, but at least it's a new character. I've spoken briefly to Hero Collector about this. They keep this all under wraps, but they have explained that their license doesn't allow them to do everyone. Now, I don't think that excuses them making the same character in the same pose again, just in a different material. I think that's incredibly lazy. But I appreciate that not every, Pepper Potts, Jane Foster maybe, these actors just might not ever say yes. So it's nice to receive a new character, even if it is Atlas, who I know is no one's fan favourite. At least it's there. I'll probably get Atlas first, but I'm going to wait for a 3 for 2 to get either of these. There's no way I'm spending money on them, sorry. And here's how Ghost looks with the rest of the Ant-Man and the Wasp lineup. The Ant-Man ones are weird. They never show faces, they always have helmets. I'm not sure if that's something Marvel has stipulated has to happen, but that's what all of the Ant-Man film figures have done. It looks a bit odd having Ghost directly next to herself in the exact same pose, but this one's a bit phasey. Maybe that was deliberate. Maybe they were like, oh, well, she could be phasing from one bit of your shelf to the next bit of your shelf, so the pose has to be the same. But why not make that a bonus edition, or, something for subscribers, or like a product that you sell separately to the collection? Don't make it an official issue. Subscribers don't want to receive this through the post. They've already got this pose. Anyway, that's what that looks like. And here's how Atlas adds to the Captain Marvel lineup. This one's considerably better. As I say, there's way too much coming from this one solo film. I think people are getting a bit tired of it, a bit annoyed with it, but at least he's adding a new character and he complements the others well. And I'm going on record now, if we're getting Atlas, we are absolutely getting Bronchar. It would be really weird if they didn't. So I'm going to be including Bronchar on all of my lists going forward as definitely coming in the future. It's like the Warriors 3. They did 2 of them and then they were obviously going to do the third one as well. Like, why would they only do some? And looking at my prediction, obviously nothing added to my dream list because these were not anywhere near my dream list, but I did think Atlas might be likely in the future, so he does get a tick on the realistic prediction list. So I'm not doing terribly, but I think it's quite clear that a lot of these fan favourite ones just are never coming, which is a real shame. But as always, you can follow all the latest Marvel movie collection news on my Instagram page, Facebook page by subscribing right here on YouTube and joining the discussion in the Facebook group too. I'll have more updates as they happen. Keep on collecting.